Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the officers and leaders and country assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this county. Let your blessings stand upon us here assembled. Grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county, and of those whose interests you committed to our church. Amen. Clerk, take us through the order of the day.
Order paper number 162 of today, Tuesday, 19th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have got 2 communications to make. The first one is in line with the schedule prepared by the Budget and Appropriation Committee in regards to the stakeholder engagement, being the sectoral committees and their departmental counterparts in the executive. That was planned to take place from tomorrow, the 20th of March 2024 to 21st of March 2024. After deliberation in the House Business Committee and the clerk, based on the exigency of activities that are available, we have agreed that the activities that were planned for Thursday, the 21st of the activities that were planned for Thursday, the 21st of March 2024, shall proceed as planned. However, the activities that were planned for Wednesday, the 20th of March 2024, have been moved to 2nd of April 2024. I repeat, the activities of Wednesday, March 2024, have been moved to 2nd of April 2024. Same venues. The activities of Thursday, the 21st, will proceed as planned. On the same note, there was a gazette notice on public participation that is starting on Friday, the 22nd of March 2024 and ending on 26th. 26th, that should be Tuesday of March 2024. The activities proceeds as planned. However, in line with my second communication, that we have managed to secure 25th to 29th with CPST, that is the Center for Parliamentary Studies and Training, on our tailor-made training for the Kisumu County Assembly in Nairobi. We would like to request you that you engage with our ward managers, especially the elected leaders, because the public participation will proceed as planned. So kindly ensure that you liaise with your ward managers. I have discussed with the clerk. He will ensure that he facilitates the staff to ensure that they get feedback from the public. I am very much happy that this time round the Budget Committee ensured that the document went ahead of the planned dates. So by whichever means, ensure that you also remind your ward managers to represent you in those particular functions. Because the training that is planned for 25th to 29th is mandatory, but you can choose not to attend. It's mandatory, but you can choose not to attend between 25th and 29th. So for those who are going to choose to attend, I think it's advisable that you report in Nairobi on 24th, so that we start in time. It's going to be rigorous because we have tried to condense quite a number of courses within that period facilitated by CPST. I would really encourage you to attend, and I repeat that it's mandatory, but you can choose not to attend. Otherwise, welcome to this session. I think the other programs probably Majority Leader will lay as per our standing orders. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Statement time. The Honorable Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise pursuant to orders number 42 to C, which mandates me in my capacity as the County Assembly Leader of Majority to present and lay on the table a statement informing the County Assembly of the business coming before the House on the following week. Honorable Speaker, this is therefore to bring to the attention of members and the County Assembly that for the week commencing Wednesday, 20th March to Tuesday, 2nd April 2024, the Select Committee on Assembly House Business at its last meeting approved the following tentative businesses to appear in the order papers as follows. On Wednesday, 20th March 2024 at 9 a.m., that is tomorrow, papers to be laid, the Chairperson, Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee, Honorable Zachary Okoyo, will table a report on the benchmarking exercise at Migori County Assembly. The Chairperson, Trade, Tourism, Marketing and Industry Committee, on the Values Wajewa, will table a report on the benchmarking exercise at Kisii County Assembly. Notices of motion. The Chairperson, Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee, Honorable Zachary Okoyo, will give the following notice of motion. That pursuant to orders number 182, part 6 of the standing orders, this House adopts a report of the Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee on the benchmarking exercise at Migori County Assembly. The Chairperson, Trade, Tourism, Marketing and Industry Committee on the Values Wajewa will give the following notice of motion that pursuant to orders number 182, part 6 of the standing orders, this House adopts a report of Trade, Tourism, Marketing and Industry Committee on the benchmarking exercise at the Kisii County Assembly. Substantive business for the day. The Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee, Honorable Joachim Okech, will move second reading of the Kisumu County Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2024, County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024. 2, third reading of the Kisumu County Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2024, County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024. The Chairperson, Sectional Committee on Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development, Honorable Boyton Ratib, intends to move a motion on adoption of report on status of operations of municipalities in Kisumu County. Papers to be laid, that is on Wednesday, 20th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The County Assembly Leader of Majority, Honorable Oko, will table the following reports. 1, report of the Auditor General on Kisumu County Alcoholic Drinks Control Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021. 2, report of the Auditor General on Kisumu County Alcoholic Drinks Control Fund for the year ended 30th June 2022. 3, report of the Auditor General on Kisumu County Alcoholic Drinks Control Fund for the year ended 30th June 2022. Substantive business for the day. That is tomorrow at 2:30. p.m., the Chairman, Select Committee Liaison, Honorable Nereko, intends to move a motion on adoption of the report on consideration of the half-yearly progress reports of committees for the period ended 31st December 2023. The County Assembly Leader of Majority, Honorable Kennedy Oko, will move a motion on adjournment of the County Assembly until Tuesday, 2nd April 2024. That is tomorrow. On Tuesday, 2nd April 2024 at 2:30 p.m., substantive business for the day, the Chairperson, Education, Technical Training, Innovation and Social Services Committee, Honorable Seth Kumu, will move a motion on adoption of the report of the Kisumu County Vocational Education and Training Policy. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Benny Pete.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to find out from the Chair of Speaker of the Assembly that a statement was read in this House on 11th October 2023 by Honorable Pete Oiko, and this statement included a number of matters that were to be handled by the departments, and Honorable Speaker, to date, it has not been responded to.
Committee.
This was a statement at Standing Orders number 41 to 2A, and it was addressed to the whole House.
Thank you, Honorable Benny. Let me follow up. I promise to give you feedback the next sitting. Statement time.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of the report of the Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning and Urban Development Committee on the representation of the county in the Land Controls Board.
Honorable Ratib Boyton.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, before the House is a report on lands, physical planning, housing and urban development. Of the representation of county in the land control boards. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders number 41-2B of the County Assembly Standing Orders, the MCA for Kajulu Ward, Honorable Benson Adega, raised a statement in this House on 18th May 2023 regarding the representation of Kisumu County in the land control boards. In accordance with the Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 8 of the County Government Act 2012, read together with the County Assembly of Kisumu Standing Orders number 193, the Honorable Speaker instructed the Secretarial Committee of Land, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development to make an inquiry, investigate and cause a report on the following in regard to this matter. One, what is the representation of the county in the county land control boards at the county and sub-county level? Further, what role does the representation play? Two, how has the board been realizing its developed functions? And three, whether the county has been receiving any revenue related to land and or development control. Honorable Speaker, the legal framework of Land Control Board is as said. Land Control Boards are operating under the Land Control Act Cap 302, Section 5, Sub-Article 1 of the Land Control Act Cap 302 provide for establishment of land control boards and categorically states that the minister shall, by notice in Gazette, establish a land control board for every land control area or where it is divided into divisions for each division. Second schedule of the Land Control Act Cap 302 provides as follows on the composition of the Land Control Board. Land Control Board shall consist of A, the district commissioner of the district in which the land control area or division is situated, or a district officer deputed by him in writing, who shall be the chairman. Honorable Speaker, in the current dispensation, this is the deputy county commissioner. B, not more than 2 other public officers. C, 2 persons nominated by the county council having jurisdiction within the area of jurisdiction of the board. And D, not less than 3 and not more than 7 persons residents within the area of jurisdiction of the board, all appointed by the minister. Provided that 1, not less than 8 and not more than 12 persons shall be appointed as members of the board, and 2, more than 1/2 of the members of the board shall be owners or occupiers of agricultural land within the area of jurisdiction. Honorable Speaker, the Land Control Board oversees activities such as subdivision, fragmentation, transfer, and amalgamation, which can have profound implications for the local populace. Pursuant to Section 6 of the Land Control Act Cap 302, the Land Control Board's main function is to control land dealings in agricultural land. The following are the transactions involving agricultural land dealings within the mandate of the boards. Transaction affecting agricultural land. 1. Each of the following transactions, that is to say, A, the sale, transfer, lease, mortgage, exchange, partition, or other disposal of or dealing with any agricultural land which is situated within a land control area. B, the division of any such agricultural land into 2 or more parcels to be held under separate titles other than the division of an area or less than 12 acres into plots in a separate titles other than the division of an area of less than let me repeat this. B, the division of any such agricultural land into 2 or more parcels to be held under separate titles other than the division of area less than 12 acres into plots in an area to which the development and the use of land, that is planning, regulations 1961 are in bracket NR 516 1961 for the time being apply. C, the issue, sale, transfer, mortgage, or any other disposal of or dealing with any share in a private company or cooperative society which for the time being owns agricultural land situated within a land control area is void for all purposes unless the land control board for the land control area or division in which the land is situated has given its consent in respect of that transaction in accordance with this act. Number 2, for the avoidance of doubt, it is declared that the declaration of a trust of agricultural land situated within land control area is a dealing in which land for the purposes of subsection 1. And 3, this section does not apply to 1, that is A, the transmission of land by virtue of the will or intestacy of a deceased person unless that transmission will result in the division of land into 2 or more parcels to be held under separate titles, or a transaction to which the government or the settlement fund trustees, or in respect of trust land, a county council is a party. That is Act number 13 of 1980, Act number 22 of 1987, and Act number 13 of 1988. Committee investigation. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, in a committee meeting held to deliberate on this matter, the committee resolved to seek for information from the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development. Consequently, a letter with that references dated 23rd May 2023 requesting the County Executive Committee member of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development to respond to issues raised in the statement on a date not less than 31st May 2023 was delivered to the department through the County Secretary. It's Annex 2. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the department failed to respond within this timeline. Consequently, the committee in another meeting resolved to do a reminder to the County Executive Committee member to respond to the issues raised in the statement. A letter with that reference, CAK LNDSSHPP1, dated 1st August 2023, was delivered to the department through the County Secretary in this regard. It is Annexed 3. Honorable Speaker, once again, the department failed to respond to this issue raised within the timeline indicated in the letter. Subsequently, the committee resolved in a meeting to invite the County Executive Committee member for Land, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development to attend a committee meeting to respond verbally to the issues raised in the statement on November 9th, 2023. Annex of invitation is also attached. The County Executive Committee member for Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development appeared before the committee as per the invite and presented before the committee a written response on the issues raised in the statement Annex 3. Now, the response by the committee executive member on the issue raised. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the County Executive Member for Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development, in his written response to the issue raised, highlighted the following. Number 1, that through a letter of reference CGK LHPPUD ADM Volume 2/175 dated 18th April 2023, the department communicated to the Land Administrator Office, RD House, the names of individuals nominated by the county government of Kisumu for inclusion in the respective land control boards in the county. The following names were submitted for each sub-county: Nyando, Towa Otieno Omondi, and Lawrence Omondi Obat. Kisumu Central, Bala Judith Aloch and Jane Akoth Rambanya. Moroni, Martina Rita Arena and James Obera Wamba. Kisumu East, Jacqueline Akinyi Obiero and Olwal Omondi George. Nyakach, Frederick Onyango Misigo and Michael Ouma Okumu. Kadibo, Fidel Oyugi Auma and Mary Celestine Odhiambo. Kisumu West, Frida Lydia Adhiambo and David Okeyo. And lastly, Seme Andrew Odhiambo Ombewa and Leonard Otita Odongo. Those are the names that were submitted. In its verbal explanation, the County Executive Committee member reiterated that despite forwarding the above names for representation in the land board, the national government gazetted several names which were not in the list of the nominees that had been forwarded. This is illustrated below. Nyando, only Towa Otieno Omondi was listed. Lawrence Omondi Obat was left out. Kisumu Central, all the nominees were shortlisted. Moroni, all nominees were not shortlisted. Kisumu East, all nominees were not shortlisted. Nyakach, only Frederick Onyango Misigo was shortlisted. Kadibo, nothing was featured. Kisumu West, only Frida Lydia Adhiambo listed. And Seme, all nominees were missing. The county committee member, the county executive committee member further explained that as a department, they have consequently appealed to the Cabinet Secretary for Lands to adopt their list that they had forwarded. The appeal is in Annex 5. As at that time of committee deliberation, the Cabinet Secretary was yet to respond on the appeal by the department. Committee observation. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the committee made the following observations. One, that through a letter reference dated 18th April 2023, the department communicated to the Land Administrator Officer at the House the names of individuals nominated by the County Government of Kisumu for inclusion in the respective land control boards. 2 in each sub-county were nominated for the representation in the land control board. A total of 16 names were forwarded. However, out of the 16 names that were forwarded, only 5 names were taken into consideration. Another observation by the committee is that through Gazette notice dated 16th May 2023, the national government gazetted names of nominees to represent the county in the land control board. It is also in Annex number 5. And the third observation is that through a letter dated 17th June 2023, the department requested the Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development to consider revising the list as per the Land Control Board member nominee list that had been forwarded to them. And 4, that the County Executive Committee member was reluctant on responding to the issues raised in the statement by Honorable Benson Adega. Committee recommendation. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the committee recommends to this House as follows. 1, that the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development follow up on the communication made to the County Secretary for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development on the issue of representation of the county in the Land Control Board and a report on the status of the same to be submitted to this assembly in a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. Number 2, that the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development hereby provide this House with a report detailing the efficacy of the current Land Control Board in fulfilling their developed functions, particularly in accordance with Section 5 of the Land Control Act Cap 302 concerning agricultural land dealings. This report to be submitted within 90 days upon adoption of this report. And 3, that the County Executive Committee member for Land, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development present to this House within 90 days following the adoption of this report a comprehensive assessment detailing the revenue generation efforts, if any, by the land control boards for this county. And lastly, 4, that going forward, it is imperative that the County Executive Committee member for Land, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development ensures prompt responses to all correspondents to facilitate the committee in fulfilling its mandate effectively. And now, in conclusion, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I hereby request this House to adopt this report on the representation of the county in Land Control Board, and may I call upon Honorable Vitalis Komudo to second. Thank you.
Many thanks, Honorable Madam Speaker. Many thanks, Honorable colleagues, Honorable members. I rise here this afternoon, and again I am privileged to second that very noble report as presented by the chair of the Lands Committee. Again, based on that, you realize, Honorable members, that a lot of lapses, as detailed in the report, are clearly spelled out, in the sense that the Land Control Board typically relates to matters community on daily basis. The observations of the same are indeed quite consequential in the process of our daily lives, and mismanagement of the representation at the county levels is a big mess. And as a result, I agree with the committee and I second the report by the chair, and a good report indeed, that the same should be adopted by the House. Many thanks, Honorable Madam Speaker. Many thanks, Honorable members.
Honorable members, a motion on the adoption of a report on the representation of the county in the land control boards has been moved and seconded appropriately. I therefore want to propose a question of debate, that the motion be open for discussion. Yes, Honorable Benson Adega.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute on the matter. Being the one who brought this matter before this House, I thank the committee for the thorough work they did. However, they took time with the report.
Sergeant at Arms, kindly help Honorable Adega.
Thank you, Madam. However, they took time for compiling this report, Madam Speaker, and I thank them for the thorough work they did, and their recommendations are good, but let the implementation committee do their job, because these are serious issues. As this house, you see, we have the budget which is going on, supplementary budget, and on the revenue issues, we have problem in the revenue. And in these issues, there are some issues of revenue collection from the Department of Land, Madam Speaker. I support the report, and thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Joachim Okech.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think this was a carefully thought submission. One, beginning from whoever raised the issue, Honorable Adega. The issue of representation on the land spot has been an oversight. And as you can see, the main mandate of this board is to look at the transactions and deals of agricultural lands, which has been a very thorny issue. And it is coming to our attention that several names have been forwarded, but the implementation in terms of consideration of these names has never been to fruition, that is to 100%. Some names are taken, and then some names are left in terms of sub-county representation, Madam Speaker. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I feel that the county government of Kisumu should take this matter seriously. And if you look at the careless manner in which and the reluctant nature of the CCM in charge of lands, it shows that they are not taking keen interest with these issues, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you are aware of the issues of land and the emotive nature of land issues in this country. You can see that the president has gone on a spree with regards to construction of affordable housing. And they are taking lands left, right, Madam Speaker. So even if the representation alone Kisumu County does not have in this land spot, I think that is a very serious matter. And I think that the committee recommendations, more so the recommendation number 2, that he submit a report within 90 days should be followed, if at least the committee of implementation, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, again, you've seen that this lands board, they sit. And again, you know that Kisumu County has not been performing very well when it comes to collection of on-source revenue. This is a place where the county can get a lot of revenue, Madam Speaker. But again, you see the same CC who has been blaming the county for theft, and again blaming the county for fattening the chicken and making the cow very thin and expecting to take, I don't know what has been the statement, but he has been blaming the county of fattening the chicken and expecting milky tea. Is the same CC who is now reluctant in an area where we are able to get a lot of revenue, Madam Speaker. So I want to agree with the committee recommendation, and I think the CC should be taken to task and even appear to the committee of implementation so that we find out where he has reached with regards to implementation of this report. And I want to support the committee on this. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
In order of seniority, I wanted to consider Honorable Oiko Pete, but looks like he has given that opportunity to Honorable Jauke. Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, my senior Oiko Pete, and thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance. Madam Speaker, I want to commend the committee that worked on this report, but Madam Speaker, because there is still some leeway to seek for some more explanations from the respective CEC, the CEC concerned with this, Madam Speaker. I think there's only one thing that I need to add. If you look at page 10 of this report, my brother Joachim also alluded to that. Madam Speaker, something really went wrong there. That whereas the names of the members of the board were submitted for inclusion, Madam Speaker, we are told, again in the same report, I think this one is said verbally, he didn't write it down, that even some names were gazetted, the names that were not submitted in the list which was submitted, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we wait for further explanations within those 90 days, I would wish to request the chair and the committee at large to make sure that that point is properly explained, that when the list was submitted from Kisumu County, then you find that some other names were gazetted from elsewhere, apart from the ones which were submitted, Madam Speaker. So this is something that is of grave concern, that we need proper clarification, because we might be submitting names that have been verified from the county, and we respect and we believe that the people that we are forwarding their names are going to make good use of and good work in the boards that they're going to be put. You see, for example, like we submitted 2 names from Nyakach, and only 1 person was shortlisted. The reason why the second person was not shortlisted is not explained properly. Maybe because the chair did explain that those explanations were verbal, but maybe they were not captured. But it is actually very important that we know the reason why 1 person was dropped, and if a replacement was given from elsewhere but not recommended from Kisumu County, Madam Speaker. I therefore support this motion, and I do wish that we are keen to look at the result of after that 90 days, because the issue of land, as has been said even before and several times, this is something serious to our lives, and this is really something very emotive, that if we fail to handle it from the very beginning, Madam Speaker, then we are likely to lose a lot. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to support.
Madam Speaker, a statement was raised in this House, that is the composition of the Land Control Board, and in the composition, the county government was supposed to submit names. And there's the complaint that the county government submitted names, and there were 16 names. Only 5 were considered. 11 were not considered. I think that is the main information we are getting on number 1. And there's a Gazette notice attached here. This Gazette notice, if members could be keen enough to find out who are these Africans whose names are here. Like when I look at Kisumu East, I'm impressed that Robert Otuge, director, is here as a member of the board. Honorable Olumo Sumba is here as a member of the board. Agnes Nyagol, who also served as a councillor, is also here as a member of the board. And when you look at the list that was presented by the county government, their names were not there. And these are our locals. Where did their names come from? That is what we will now ask. The names of the locals are found in the Kenya Gazette. And these are people who will serve the people of Kisumu County on matters of land. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on number 2, the devolved functions of the county government on land matters, which is consent to subdivide, to transfer, the allocation of land. Those are the functions. And these are functions that will be done by the Land Control Board. So once our people have been included in the Land Control Board, we know that these functions will be done to the satisfaction of the locals. Unless one has other issues to raise. What is not coming out clear, Madam Speaker, is number 3. The revenue that is supposed to be collected by the Lands Department. That one is not mentioned in the whole report, Madam Speaker. And this is where the department ought to have told us, when it comes to land, when it comes to subdivision of land, what revenue does the county government expect? When it comes to transfer of land, what revenue is paid to the county government? And in the whole transaction on land matters, how much will the county government of Kisumu collect? That is what is missing in this report. And since the county executive committee member appeared before the committee should have remembered to take him to task to explain the revenue that the county government expects to collect in the whole transaction, Madam Speaker. And since that one is omitted, in the report, Madam Speaker, unless the matter will be raised later on, we shall go by the report the way it is, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, why the report is a good one, even if some names are missing, which is not explained. Why only some people, some names from the list presented by the county government are there and others are not there? Did they seek any explanation from the Lands Department, Minister of Lands in Nairobi? That one is also not explained. Whether they sought any explanation why that happened, that one is also not explained in this report, Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, as per what we know, in every sub-county, there's a Land Control Board, per the Kenya Gazette here. In every sub-county, there is the Land Control Board, duly constituted. That means the people of Kisumu County are well served. I beg to submit, Madam Speaker.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Chief Whip, do you want to inform the House or the Speaker who has left the floor?
I want to inform the House, and I equally want to inform the Honorable Igopete.
Go ahead.
Madam Speaker, thank you. If you look at the Land Control Act as earlier and expounded to us by the Honorable Boyton Okech, who is the chairman, the Act provides for the county government to nominate persons to that committee, and the national government too, through the Deputy County Commissioner, to nominate persons to that land committee. So I think and I believe the 3 persons whom their names do not appear in the county government report, the 3 persons, that's Honorable Tuge, Honorable Sumbolum, and Honorable Agnes Dagol, were nominated by the national government through the Deputy County Commissioner. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Just a minute, Honorable Member. Honorable Members, other than the explanation that has been given by the Honorable Chief Whip, I also know that the Kisumu East Land Board of which I was a member prior to my election as the MCA, was constituted 3 years behind schedule, and the board, the members then were given an opportunity, an extension of term, and I think that informed the retainment of the names of the members that are still serving in the board. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Kennedy Ouko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I would like to thank the chair for giving us educative and informative information concerning the statement from Honorable Adega. I would also like to thank Honorable Adega for bringing this. For one, as a representative of the people and who is serving in the county government of Kisumu, we may not at times understand the roles, mandate, and probably the composition of the committee in the land board. I thank the committee because for now they have highlighted very clearly the composition. And I understand even if I'm asked when I get back to my people, I will be in a position of explaining as a representative of the people what it entails in terms of composition and the mandate. And Madam Speaker, I was only surprised of one thing. If actually the county government is is allowed to appoint some members to the board, and these people, when it comes to the composition now, they don't appear and they are not gazetted, or probably gazetted but not appearing in the committee, it is quite unfortunate for the citizen of Kisumu County. Because by extension, they represent the interests of the county government. And that is where we are also representing. So the moment we are failing as the county government to represent in these boards, it is quite unfortunate. It is upon the department concerned to talk to the chair of the board and get the correct information so that we can see as the assembly how to help this. Because actually it is our mandate and it is in our interest to see that the county government is represented in such kind of boards. Again, it is also important that when we call CEC for land, we put him to task, because there must be a correspondence between the board and the county government, and is the one concerned. It will also explain what action did he take actually to justify that he was serving the interests of the Kisumu County, and by extension the governor. So I support the report, and I wish that our county proceed well in whatever we are doing. Thank you.
Honorable members, I've seen Honorable Kennedy Ajwang on his feet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving this opportunity. Madam Speaker, going by the mood of this House, I call upon the mover to reply.
I haven't seen anyone rise on their feet to give their submissions on this report. And I want to agree with Honorable Kennedy Ajwang that the mover now replies.
Thank you once again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to first thank honorable members for giving out their keen observations on this report. Madam Speaker, it came out very clear that the 16 names that were nominated by the department and forwarded to the ministry, only 5 names were considered. And Madam Speaker, I believe as a committee, we gave a recommendation that a communication between the two, that is the CEC for lands and the Cabinet Secretary for lands, to finalize on the 11 nominees that were left out in the process. Madam Speaker, I also want to thank honorable member who actually outlined the reluctancy of the CEC to respond to our invitations. This, Madam Speaker, you are not taking it lightly, and I believe going forward, following the recommendation, the CEC concern will act appropriately when called upon by the committee. Madam Speaker, the issue of revenue did not come out very clearly from the CEC. And you had Honorable Joachim mentioning that the CEC has been complaining about the allocation that the department is being given, but not actually telling us what its department is giving in our own source revenue basket. This must also be followed to the latter. Madam Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Seth Kanga. He has actually explained that the county government, through the Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development, was given a slot of nominating 2 persons per sub-county. The other board members are being nominated by the DC, that is now the deputy county commissioner. So the other names that he was talking about, Honorable Ikopete, may have come from the administrators, that is the DC. Madam Speaker, I also want to thank Honorable Nyaoke, Honorable Joachim, and let it be known that upon adoption of this report, the document now becomes a document of the Assembly and not now of this committee. In that regard, Madam Speaker, I believe after the elapse of 90 days that is given in the recommendation, the implementation committee will take charge and make sure that the recommendations are followed to the letter. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to reply.
Honorable members, a motion on the adoption of a report on the representation of the county in the land boards has been moved, seconded, and properly debated. I want to therefore put a question of adoption that may, as many are of the opinion that this report be adopted, say aye. May as many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. And the report on the representation of the county in the land boards stands adopted by the Kisumu County Assembly today, Tuesday, 19th March 2024 at 15:30 hours. And I want to direct that the report, together with the Hansard, be prepared and forwarded to the department for necessary action. Next. Order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. There is no any other business in the order paper.
Honorable members, there being no any other business, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 20th, 2024 at 9 a.m.